Hey, Jen Gleason Blue of the Resilient Body and launchyourresilientlife.com. So you know that more movement is good and being dynamic and not being stuck in one spot is good. But what do you do about those times that you are in a chair? Well, let's see if we can create a little bit of a workout for you to get moving while you are in your chair. So if you're not already seated, grab a seat. Alrighty, so the first thing I'll have you do is we're just going to kind of open up the spine a bit. So you can get yourself, nicely planted, and then go ahead and arch your back, letting your head come up, and then around through the spine. So we're just bringing some awareness in. Maybe you're noticing some sticky spots where you don't move so well. Maybe you find places where it's easy to invite in movement. All right, we come back to center. And now we're just going to shift our ribs a little bit. So we're just going to move them side to side here. Seeing if we can kind of keep the pelvis stable. So we're not kind of rolling. We're just moving the rib cage. This connection between the pelvis and the rib cage, I find it tends to want to move as one. So this is one way we can open things up a little bit. All right, and come back into sort of a straight arm position. Go ahead and extend one leg out in front of you. Let the foot turn out so I can see that it's cut off a little bit on the camera here. Maybe I can back up a bit. You're going to let your foot roll out. So you can hang out just like this. So we're getting into the back of the leg a little bit. If you have a little bit more range of motion in your hamstrings, maybe you want to tilt forward. Continuing to allow the leg to roll out. That's putting your thigh into a different position, your femur, in regards to your pelvis in particular. If you do come forward, notice if you're kind of sending your ribs forward first, can you keep your ribs relaxed down into your body and tilt forward without them moving separately? So I had to borrow this from my husband's office. I don't actually have a chair that I sit in at my desk. I always stand. You can see I've got an ottoman here like a little footstool that I use. So go ahead and switch sides. Again, allowing this, so the ankle is like right in line with your pelvis, and then you're gonna let the foot turn out. Maybe coming forward a little bit, maybe just hanging out where you are. And that probably depends to some degree how high your chair is and how tight the backs of your legs are. How's that look, babe?
Good.
Yeah? Cool. What are you reading next? Lovable Lyle.
What was this called?
Lovable Lyle.
What's that?
It's about a crocodile. I don't think you've read that in a long time. This is how we need to roll sometimes, right? Like, and so it's the same thing for you. So you are maybe at your desk and maybe you need to be working. Can you get your body into a different position to kind of activate and wake up some muscles that are a little bit underused? All right, so go ahead to back to that first leg, and this time maybe you want to keep your foot, instead of turned out, just sort of straight ahead. And you can go ahead and cross the opposite ankle on top of that knee. So you're not right on the knee, but probably right above it. So here we're getting into the outside of that hip, even as we do a little bit of hamstring stretch. Now you may find that you can, if you want to take the hamstring out of it and you want to get deeper into the hip, that you can, increase the bend in your knee. However, you may find that even just getting watch my back, getting the ankle over sort of creates some roundness, and you have to kind of, it's effortful to come forward. So if that's the case, I don't want you to go any further than this, but if you have more room, then maybe you want to deepen that stretch. I'm going to hang out here. So one of the great things about learning different restorative exercises is that you can begin to take them into your life as you already have it arranged. There is no denying that setting aside time to, concentrated time to move, to increase the kind of quality and quantity of your movements is essential. And, go ahead and switch sides. We also need to acknowledge that our lives are set up as they are, and see about making our whole lives more dynamic so that we can really build our resilience. And again, you can let that foot roll out, which I was doing sort of unconsciously, but I actually want it to be straight on. And so this ankle is across. You can bring the foot up if you'd like, hang out where it sort of makes sense for you and where you're not having to use your back to do a lot of effort, or you feel it in the front of your hips, you're pulling really hard. Yeah. So I find that I'm not often in a chair. Well, I have a car, so I do drive, and I take the bus and the train, which is easier to stretch in. But because we sit at a low table for meals, if I'm at a friend's or family's house for dinner, then I find that I tend to cycle through a lot of stretches like this. All right, come on out of that. Plant your feet firmly. We're going to do a little bit of a twist. So here we're keeping the pelvis stable and the rib cage is moving. So you might not move very far. So I'm going to twist toward you here. This is to my left. And so there we go. That's about my twist. So you might notice that your tendency is to really arch the back. Yeah, so you might be able to see that arch the back and pull. Let's not go beyond our actual muscular boundaries by forcing with our hands. So you can even just leave them right here. Maybe you want to not to pull, but just to create a little bit of stability. Put a hand behind you. And then really using your core musculature, can you shift your rib cage to one side, leaving your pelvis straight ahead and not arching your back, but leaving the rib cage down. So I'm a big advocate of, as I said, sort of more movement and kind of less time in a chair, and yet we really do need to kind of meet ourselves where we are. And the other piece of that is that we tend to, see if you can deepen that a little bit, your twist. We tend to think we're not ready for more movement. And sometimes we're not. We want to go out and run, or climb a tree, and yet you actually need to begin to introduce the body to some new experiences. So go ahead and come back to center, and again, just switch sides. And one of the ways you can do that is, you can think about this in the global sense, getting your body ready to take bigger movements by doing some of these more gentle restorative things. But you can also think about it you want to go out and have a deeper and more powerful exercise experience later today. It's hard on your body to not move at all day, and then go really challenge it. So this can be a way to sort of get you, prepare you, you sort of a way to move to prepare you to move more, if that makes sense. Notice if your back is arched, can you keep the rib cage down, pelvis untucked, so sort of nice neutral position. You're in your sits bones, rib cage is turning. You're probably really feeling this in your core, the effort to do this. And breathing, always breathing. All right, and come back to center. We're going to do a seated crescent stretch. We're going to really focus on keeping the pelvis anchored firmly here. So you're going to bring your arms up above you, or in front of you. Again, we're going to watch out for this rib cage. So notice if to get your arms up, I can get mine to about here. If I go further, I have to arch my back. So just meet yourself where you are without lifting the rib cage. You're going to grab one arm. So here I'm grabbing my right arm, and I'm gonna do a crescent stretch. I'm going to bend to the left. Now this might be flipped in the video, so it might be like you were totally bending to the right. I get that. So here we're really lengthening through the side body. Maybe you can lengthen more. You can sort of think about the whole rib cage coming up and turning, but we're not bringing one side of the rib cage in front or behind, and we're not thrusting our ribs. So hopefully you're feeling this deep into your hips. And low back, you know, sort of kind of, yeah, it all depends. And up in here. Gently come back to center, switch sides. Go ahead and crescent the other way. It might help, even though the weight, so you know, like the weight's kind of shifting into this side, really think about anchoring down through the long side of your body into that hip and through that sits bone. And that should enable you to open up a little bit more. Again, not tucking the pelvis. You don't want to be rolling. You don't want to be rolling back, so you can keep the pelvis in neutral. All right, and come on up. So now I'd like you to go ahead and send an arm behind you. So it's going to look like this. So you can hang out here if you'd like. Why don't you go ahead and drop the opposite ear to the opposite shoulder. If you haven't practiced in this work, maybe you want to get your scapula, you want to take the wing out of it so you don't have a bony edge in the middle of your back. Maybe you want to flip your palm over. So you can kind of play around with that. We have all this stuff that happens out here in front of us, especially when we're at a desk, with, you know, or in a chair. It tends to be driving or eating or cooking, you know, like food prep. People often will sit to do that, or working, and my chair is being moved. So it's nice to kind of untangle what's going on here a little bit, and through the side of the neck. Where are you taking me, babe? This is a different way to be in a chair. All right, and gently come out of that, really gently. All right, go ahead and slip the other hand behind your back.
Are we done?
Almost. So here you can do the same thing. You can either just hang out like this. I am going to suggest you drop the opposite ear to the opposite shoulder. You can turn your palm over if you want. You can flatten your shoulder blades so that there's no bony edge. Depending on your level of experience with this and exposure to it and what you like to play around with in your body. My guess is that even by this point, your body feels more awake and alive than it did when you started. And you've increased flow through a whole bunch of parts of your body, which is really essential for whole body health. If you want health, you need to have blood flow and lymph flow and electricity flow and all that good stuff. So notice if your pelvis is tucking. I just noticed I was kind of shifting back. All right, so come on out of that. All right, so in less than 15 minutes, you have you've explored a whole bunch of movements that will bring additional life into your body. If you can, I suggest you get up out of your chair and do something like walk. Maybe open up your hip flexors a bit if you have some exercises for that. And in the meantime, I also invite you to check out launchyourresilientlife.com/join. So if you want to really move more and feel better and stop hurting and figure out the exercises that you need and the boundaries that you have in your body so that you can move safely, and if you want to make some lifestyle shifts so that you're increasing your movement quotient, the quantity and quality of your movements throughout your day, then Launch Your Resilient Life is for you. 4-week course. It is really good stuff, and it will really give you a firm foundation for whole body health and alignment. So that's it for now. Again, I'm Jen Gleason Blue, and I hope that you've enjoyed your chair workout for the day. So we're gonna say goodbye. Are you ready to say goodbye?
Bye.
Have a good day.